Good morning. So, where are we at today? I've been busy with work this week. We've had people come in from around the country, and so I have not been getting my regular sleep. Oh well, all is good. So, good morning, Maureen. So let's see what the universe has for us today. Let's see what tips and tricks. Let's see any angers or resentments that we can watch out for. Let's take that breath. Listening to the cards like they're the ocean. Work out the kinks on our necks. Good morning, Dragonheart. Hello, Eleanor. You know, I have not stepped out today, but I bet it is chilly. So, taking that other breath. Hot what not? So, hi. It's been a while, I think. So we have somebody over on Twitter, hotwatt_NA. Oh, you're Dragonheart, so you're in Virginia. You're not that far away. Now you make me want to go ahead and ask Google what the temperature is outside. So, what does the universe have for us? Listen to the sound of the cards just one more time. Okay. So, let's see. Cold and windy. Oh, yeah, I'm working from home today. They are doing. So, my office is right there where they are building a new metro line called the Purple Line. Used to have a beautiful trail going behind it called the Crescent Trail. Really long, really beautiful. Now it's a construction site. Yay, progress. Okay, so here we have our stack. And here we have 3 strands going out. Each one of these is a web. Whichever web we pull on will be the conversation we have. Each one will be different. This conversation will be different from this one or this one. So today is Thursday. Let's see what's right here on the surface. Cold and windy. So, now, oh, 7 of Cups. So, 7s are all about that progress, rewards. But with the 7 of Cups, it's like we're kind of like fantasizing, wondering. And not seeing things for the way they are. So not basing things around us on reality. So the Hierophant can be, it can be religion. It can be someone who's a teacher, but it's also like institutions. It's that conservative rules that we're grown up with and things like that, but it's when they no longer work. So it's kind of like what happens when we we are told rules that are not based on reality. And we use those as our foundation. So we build up our belief system on fantasy, which with a foundation like that, we end up with the Queen of Wands. Queens are water, they're emotion, and wands are about fire and energy and passion. But when they're reversed, they can be anger, they can be heated arguments, they can be that irrational anger. So this is kind of like what I see personally. I mean, I try not to inject too much of myself into the readings. But when we base our reality on fantasy, when we choose to I'm just trying to think of the best way to put it. Oh, man. All right, so the Justice card is going to tell me how to put it then, because that's plain and simple. All right. The Justice card is about seeing things clearly. It's about having a clear vision. It's about the facts. It's about making a judgment based on... Because this Justice in this deck, Pamela Coleman Smith's Justice is not blind. It can see everything. And yet, here we are with society who's not seeing things clearly. It's more important that this is how I feel than these are the facts. It's about looking at the pie in the sky instead of, what's at our feet. So, I have a 16-year-old, and I always think about this. How can people not see that the world is burning? I mean, I hate to say things, but it's like I remember as a kid seeing the commercials with the Indian with the tear going down here because of the pollution. I don't know if anybody else is as old as I am. But I mean, as long as I remember, they've been trying to say we're destroying the planet. And yet, the people don't want to see it. People... Industries, businesses, why are they so blind? The Shell company has doubled their dividends today because of the profits they've made. And yet, we want to blame everything else and ignore, why we have the prices of gas are so high. And we have this false political sense. Things have gone crazy. Yeah. And Maureen's absolutely right. Time to cut to the chase. Wishful thinking is just making things worse. So I mean, wow. So this week the readings have been really just... But this is just every newspaper headline I see out there now. So, what does this come back to? I am an optimist. That's why I do as much charity work as I can and why I want to keep doing it. Because there's so much good out there. But I also try to present things. So for me, again, you know what? Take this as we will. If we don't change how we see things, if we don't change how we see things, then we're just going to perpetuate the lie. If we don't change, change starts from within. If we don't change how we see things, we will just perpetuate the lie. So that's not being judgmental or anything, because I know that I choose to see things my own way. But I think Maureen just put it very succinctly, time to cut to the chase. Wishful thinking is just making things worse. I cannot say that any better than that. So, but again, the anger and resentment is not the way to deal with this. It reminds me of the story, I had read in the paper about. There was a couple, they were Scandinavian police officers that were on a metro train here in D.C. And there was somebody who was a thief. They got, they were obviously caught stealing on the metro. And the way the Scandinavian police officers took the person, they restrained them, and they talked them down. People were amazed that they didn't get violent. They didn't do it. They actually sat there and just calmly talked the person down until the person was just calm and realizing how passive, they were just, they diffused the situation, not with violence or anger. So I'm saying that we need to just learn in this country how to diffuse a situation without violence and anger. So anyway, because I'm just seeing this and this is like blowing my mind, this whole reading here, I'm going to let it go. I'm just saying that we all do our part. So I'm going to read a little bit what we have here. So do you live in Canada? I mean, our government is bringing in more people there, so land will be to people, land that grew. And Dragonheart, you've nailed it. This is the energy of the planet. Not all are asleep. It's a movie we can step out of that creates our own reality. I contemplate homes versus food now. I'm curious what Canada will look like in 25 years. Queen of Wands is self-confidence, and bold reversed, you can be working on your self-esteem. And then Marine, my deepest condolences about the destroyed trail. Yes. So I think we all kind of relate to, it's like, I'll say like for Canada, because I would love to move to Canada. I see the people that I know living in Canada as a kind of an inspiration, because they are some of the nicest people I know, and I've spent at least a month in Canada just on vacations. So Canadians are willing to spend extra on taxes so that the person next to them can get health care. So, I mean, Canada may have its problems, but I still see Canada kind of as an inspiration. So, the whole thing comes down to, in this world, we have enough resources for everybody to try and take care of everybody. But as long as we're taught that anybody who's different from us is an animal, then we're going to treat them like animals. So, oh, so Hotwad just said we don't spend extra, or our taxes are similar to U.S. We just spend our taxes dollars differently. Anyway, this is a triggery read for me, just because I see the people who do the best and who are the most well off are the ones who tell us how bad off we are. You know? So this is just a triggery reading for me. So I'm going to let this go. And but the thing is that this is a thread going out. So maybe the right person will see this. And maybe they'll say, this is so obvious. Why aren't we, here's our lack of reality in our thinking. Here's how we build up our community around that lack of thinking. And here's the angers and the resentments and the boiling over that we have from that living in a fantasy. And that's just the answer. Being clear-sighted. This just is a perfectly good reading, simple. And maybe this thread will be jiggled by the right person. Maybe we talk to a kid who's the one who's going to invent unlimited free power, Go out there and inspire that next little scientist. Go jiggle that thread. You never know. So I'm just going to leave it at that because now I'm rambling. But let's think real hard about this. And sorry if this is so triggery for me. But it's just I see the stupidity in the world here with this. And you know what? As much as I fall into reading Facebook and as much as I fall into, I'm just as brainwashed as the next person out there. Trust me. I have my own echo chamber where I sound off and it just resounds, the same thing resounds back in my own ears. So. And Hot Water saying the biggest reason why people don't want to do it, like Canada, is people who don't have children or who are not sick don't want to pay. But the person who does not have kids will have to be cared for one day. Those kids are big. In this country, we don't want to pay for education. And yet we wonder why our rankings are so low compared to other people in the world. We pay one day, we pay one way. Just we have to make the decision. All right, so everybody, take this as the positive thing because, again, each one of these stacks is a thread. And everybody here makes a difference. Everybody, whether we realize it or not. And I do believe that. So take care, everybody. Have a great day. And I will be back here tomorrow. Less triggered, I hope. So take care, everybody. And let's see if we can just do something good for the next person beside us. I do worry about the U.S. education. Can we spread that Toronto is downtown Canada, please? Take care, everybody. And hey, I may be moving to Canada, Hotwad. Trust me, it's a thought. So, all right, take care, everybody. Thanks again.